Good evening.
Good evening. I'm just running up to grab dinner, so I figured I'd see if anyone was here.
Yeah, well, we got so late before we looked at the clock. It's so nice out that we didn't realize it was 7:15. So I'm putting dinner off until 8:30 when we get done here. Anyway, you go grab dinner, and good to hear you. Good check-in. I'm pointed down south. You're a little weak, but not bad. I'm pointed down toward Lake Isabella. We're hoping that we can get Rick in here. KB6RQU on this band. And DMO5 there. Anyway, good evening to you. WB6JNP Course Gold 107 K6MYC.
Okay, we'll keep an ear open when we get that. K6MYC, WB6JNP, of course.
Roger. I think Aaron's in the background. I saw the live stream come up and it's running, so Aaron's there. You want me to check you in, Aaron?
KJ6TYO1009.
Well, I'll check you in, Ron. Booming signal. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, I figured, well, I'm off work tomorrow, so it won't hurt to stay up late tonight. Don't have to worry about getting up in the morning.
But don't you have a problem waking up at 3:30 anyway because you got to get ready?
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I don't even have to worry about the alarm going off. I just get up. But I'll just try to stay up extra late tonight, and then I'll be able to sleep until about 6:30 maybe.
Wow. Okay. Well, I was awakened this morning at 10 to 8, or I think it's about 7:30 actually, when Judy woke me up and she said, "Oh, by the way, we don't have any water pressure." Oh, great. I had turned the water on up at the front of the property at the driveway. I have a line that runs up there, and I have to manually turn it on and off, but it feeds a lot of the trees and all the foliage along the road and stuff. So it could drain the tank, which it did. It drained the tank overnight between that and the sprinkling systems. They drained the tank, so we had no water this morning, so I had to get up, change over some valves, and get some water in the tank, and then in 10-15 minutes we had pressure again. So, but that was my start for the morning at 7:30. And that's early for me. So when I got home from the town today, we were in town all day. We met with Kerry, KC5DTU, and had a nice day with Kerry, and he helped me shop for a few items in Walmarts and so on. I came home and sat down in the chair and slept for 2 hours.
Wow, well, good for you. That's a heck of a nap. You're all raring to go for tonight.
Yeah, won't be able to slow me down till 8:30.
Well, then get some dinner on, and then it'll be ready for another nap.
Yeah, that's about it. Well, we got some computer stuff to do tonight. Hopefully we can get that done. Anyway, it was good to see the big, beautiful bill pass, and now we're on the road to bigger and better things. The stock market's booming, and inflation is coming down. Gas prices are dropping slowly. In California, it's tough, but on the East Coast, they're down in around the $2 and less marketplace, so that's not bad. California is, of course, we're getting ripped off here.
K6USY 1079 and Bozo 1100.
Good evening, Aaron. Thank you. Can you look at the, let me see if I can see it myself. I've got this, trying to see where the little thing is pointing. It's so tiny on the screen, I can't see it. Should be about 155 or so. What do you see on my readout?
157. So close.
Okay, I'm not too far off. I'm okay then. I just wanted to be pointed down toward Rick, KB6RQU, and the chance that he would be on here this evening. We'll start this direction and work our way around to the other side of things. Anyway, you're good and loud. Good to hear you. Good evening to you and Brittany there. I spent the better part of the day with Kerry today. I went into town with one of my guys, and then Kerry picked me up at the plant at noon or so, and we went off and did some shopping at Harbor Freight and Walmart and had some lunch. So we had a good day, but didn't get home till almost 3. And Walmart's a big place. We were shopping for things that were, not all groceries, so we had to walk the whole damn store. God, it's like walking my 40 acres here. K6USY in the group, K6MYC.
Yeah, those Walmarts have gotten pretty big, especially that one up on Herndon. When they first opened it, it wasn't as big, and then they expanded it. That place is ginormous. The one up on Herndon and Ingram there in Pinedale. That place is huge.
Yeah, well, that's where we were, and it's good to shop there because they pretty much have everything. We only had one thing or one or two little items that they didn't have exactly what we wanted. We could have gotten some Franzia wine, but they didn't have the particular blush or venue that my friend's Judy's daughter's asking for here, Sunset Blush Franzia. So we couldn't get that. Otherwise, they had everything, but we walked our little legs off, I'll tell you that. Anyway, good evening. And we'll see if there's anybody else in here this evening on 432. K6MYC Bozo Net 432 officially almost starting.
KM6SRR number 432.
There's a person here for almost the start. Good evening, Rob.
Yeah, I've been listening for a little bit. Also, you can check in Bozo 1200 there. She's down watching the tennis match.
Tennis, okay, good. Hopefully she has her favorite hoop. What's on? Is it? It's not Wimbledon. What's on right now on tennis?
Yeah, it's Wimbledon, the grass courts.
Oh, grass court in England.
Yep, yeah, Wimbledon is the grass. The French is the clay, and then Australia, that's the beginning of the year, is usually the hard surface like the U.S. Open at the end of the year.
Yeah, okay.
KC5 DTU 712.
Well, there's a guy I see. I bet you went home and took a nap, didn't you?
Boy, I felt so sticky. I came home and went through the shower, Mike, and after all of that shopping, you forgot your ball in the car.
Well, I know that. I went to ask Judy if she'd seen the ball and the stuff that you brought in, and she said no. So we'll have to figure out how to get the ball over to me. Maybe sometime this week you can drop it over at the plant. Yep. Don't go out of your way. I'm not desperate for it. I'm not desperate, but I do want to get it going there. No matter that project seems to be jinxed over.
Yeah, roger that. I'm glad you didn't buy two. I'd hate to tell you that you forgot them in this car.
Well, I think it was in the back with all the rest of the stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I just gave you an airplane joke. It was over your head. I said, I'm glad that you didn't buy two.
Yeah, that's right. I should have. Anyway, enjoyed the day with you. We had good time and wasn't under too much pressure. Hopefully Laura didn't beat you up too bad when you got home, huh?
Negative. She didn't. Taking her for yogurt always tames the beast.
Good evening, Kerry. KC5 DTU, KM6SRR.
Repeat your last statement, Kerry. I was just getting my Bluetooth earphones turned on and I didn't catch it. Go ahead.
Roger. KM6SRR. Good evening, Rob, and good evening, Aaron. Heard you in there also, K6USY. And Mike, my statement was that one trip to get some yogurt always tames the beast.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so I thought I heard the word yogurt in there, but I didn't know how it fit in. Now I remember on the phone, I think you said the word yogurt once on the phone, so I understand. Can't go without your damn yogurt.
Yeah, roger that. Well, the new shopping center here by us just opened up, and they got a frozen yogurt shop in there, and And this kind of weather, it always goes good.
Oh, well, frozen yogurt, that's ice cream. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, roger that. Okay, I'll let you get on with the net. KC5, DTU.
711.
711. Good evening, John.
Good evening, everybody. Just worked the 13 colonies on the air and 2 of the 3 bonus points. Having fun putting the station back together after field day. K6MI.
I'll be darned. Yeah, that normally is always a project. When you say 13 colonies, do you have to get on and work 13 of the states back there?
Right. Every year, right around 4th of July, they put the 13 colonies on the air, and you get a little certificate. And Jim, W6NIF, always does it. Chuck has done it in the past, W6DPD, and I try to do it whenever I can. It's kind of fun. Chase them down.
What, 15?
Well, they're all over the bands. 13 colonies plus Pennsylvania bonus point, and 1 English and 1 French bonus points.
Okay, very good. I was going to ask you something else there, and it slipped away. I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad you were able to get on and catch them. Bands have been kind of funny, although this morning they were a little bit back to normal. 40 and on 40 meters at least, I could hear Phil up there, WB6GGY, much better than I have the last week or so. So short skip was in this morning on 40. But I had all kinds of radio problems here. I thought I did, at least. I kept kicking the amplifier out, and I wasn't sure why, and all of a sudden I fixed something. I did something, and that stopped. So anyway, with a rough start in the morning, I woke up, and Judy was shaking me to wake me up to tell me we didn't have any water pressure at 7:30. So that was the beginning of my day. Anyway, it went okay, and we enjoyed it. But it did start my day off in a hurry. Over.
When you run out of water, it tends to do that. All right, things are fun. K6MI.
Particularly when you have 2 wells and they're separated by 900 feet. So I was driving around on the property, turning valves and riding around in the ATV, and I got it all going in about 20 minutes.
Hi, John.
Hey, Aaron.
Have fun putting everything back together. K6USY.
Oh, yeah, I haven't got 220 megs or 1.2 back online, and I'm still struggling with the field day logs. Almost got it.
Yeah, I submitted ours the day we got back.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have 500 QSOs either.
No, mainly because I had to make 78% of the QSOs that we did make.
Yeah, mine were all 10-pointers as well.
Oh, very good. Alrighty. Let's see who else Mike can get. K6USY.
K6MI.
Okay, I guess Ken's must be recovering from overwork. He hasn't popped in here for a day or so, but maybe he'll get here before the day is over. I did get 1 course gold station beside Rob. WB6JMP was the first out of the barrel tonight, so we'll see if KG6 Charlie Echo Fox or anybody else is on from up there. And so far it's pretty quiet. Let me call KB6RQU Lake Isabella. KB6RQU Lake Isabella. KB6RQU. Oh boy, I touched something on the screen. Am I still transmitting in the right place here? Guys copying me?
Yeah, you're good there, Mike. KM6SR.
Okay, because I bumped the screen and I don't know what I touched, but it beeped at me. I thought I might have changed my frequency or something. All right, KB6RQU. Rick, are you around tonight? Okay, boy, can't get Rick to be in here when I'm pointed his way.
I'm going to go down and finish my corn there, my KM6SR.
Go get your corn, and I'm going to spin over toward, I'm surprised we don't have Bill 800 and WA6AAJ in here on 432. I know we're not going to have Ron in Tascadero because he never shows up on 432, but I was going to head toward Santa Cruz, but I didn't want to do it too quickly. I'm sure not hearing anything from down south, so let me do this. Let me go over to Santa Cruz and see what we get. 803, course gold. Hi, Dan.
Okay.
Yeah, you're pretty weak. Let me just finish rotating here, and I'll get around in your direction here in a second.
Very loud in Fresno.
Okay, relay me in if I can't hear me anymore.
Well, I hear you. I'm copying you, Dan, but you're much stronger now. I just had you in a null. I'm sure you would be strong in Fresno, but you were on the back corner of the beam, which just doesn't hear well. Anyway, good evening. Anything new up there in course gold at your place?
No, it's cooling off a little bit. It's a good day. So 73, have a good net.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you. It did seem like it got, was only 103. We haven't had those roaring hot days yet. These 103s are becoming normal. But it's starting to cool off already this evening. We were sitting out on the patio at 7, and it was starting to feel pretty good out there. So I think we'll have a little cooler day. It's supposed to drop all the way down into the high 90s, over.
Okay, well, sounds good.
All righty, see you later. Dane's already checked in, so you don't have to prod him. I'm pointed over towards Santa Cruz, KW6 Sugar or Alpha Foxtrot 6 United. Anybody over that way, K6MYC.
Kilo Alpha 6, Mike Zulu Echo Mobile.
KA6MZE Mobile. Very good. I don't know where you're mobile, but you must be over in the Bay Area or in Monterey or something. Do you have a Bozo number?
Yeah, 11111, and I'm in Los Altos, California.
You're in where, California?
Los Altos.
Oh, Los Altos. And give me the Bozo number again, if you would. I heard 11, but I must be missing one letter. Must be 119.
Negative 1111. 41.
Oh, 4 1s. Okay. You're up there not too far from Russ, and he's got 3 1s, so that's why I was stumbling when you said I heard 3 1s go by, and I thought, no, that can't be right. Anyway, refresh my memory on the handle, and welcome to 432 again. This is Mike, over.
Hey, Mike, name is Phil, Papa Hotel India Lima, and I'm over with my ST100, about 35 watts on your little HO loop on top of my truck.
Well, you're doing good. Amazing, 35 watts. I'm clear down here north of Fresno, so we're hearing you pretty good, and I'm not even quite pointed at you. So you're doing very well. Are you parked somewhere with some elevation there, over?
Yeah, we're about 350 feet right now parked, parking lot here, and yeah, I'm using the M2 HO loop.
Well, it's doing good. You can't complain. 35 watts, and you're going 160 miles here from Los Altos on down, so good signal. What was the name again?
Name is Phil, Papa Hotel India Lima. Papa Hotel India Lima.
Okay, WA6MZE, fine, Phil, and doing an outstanding job here, so good to hear you. And thanks for checking in. You must not have a home station. Is that why you're doing it in the mobile?
Well, I had to move at home station. I sold a house, but currently just mobile, and I prefer mobile operations anyway. So yeah, that's why I'm checking in tonight, just checking it out. And you're coming in really good. You're about F9 here in Los Altos right now with your beam, and you're doing a wonderful job. How's my audio? My FT100.
Not bad. It's got plenty of audio. You might be overdriving it slightly, but at 35 watts, you can't hurt anything. And it's not distorted to any great degree, not distorted to any great degree there. So you're fine. It's an old radio, oldie but a goodie, over.
Yeah, I've had to tune you in on my 432.102.75, and I'm sure I believe you said you are GPS linked or GPS locked on 432.1, right?
Yeah, I'm on 100 exactly. You can count on that. 432.10000.
Yeah, I'm 2.75 kilohertz off on this radio, so that's what it is on the mobile rig.
Holy cow, 75 kilohertz. That's crazy. You could be off 1 or 2 kilohertz from drift and age, but not that far. So there's something going funny with the synthesizer or something there. Anyway, it's working, and as long as you can find where you're supposed to be, make a note of it. And I'm running about 800 watts here at the moment. 800 watts, and the antenna is a pair of XP40s, M-squared XP40s. They're cross-polarized, so 40 elements vertical, 40 elements horizontal. And it's a good thing you're horizontal, because I am in the horizontal mode, but I can flip the switch and go vertical. But let me see. I'll just do that for a second, and you can come back, and I'll see if I can hear you vertical.
Okay. 0.75 kilohertz off. I'm on 432.10275. I'm only 2.75 kilohertz off.
Yeah, well, that's not bad for the age of the radio. Okay, here's horizontal, and this is vertical, vertical, vertical. You disappear when I go vertical, and I'm back to horizontal again. So there you go. WA6MZE K6MYC. Go ahead.
Vertical and great on horizontal.
What did you say about vertical?
Vertical, I can barely hear you. There's a lot of picket fencing or something like that, a lot of warbling on the signal on vertical. But horizontal, you came in quite fine.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to work, by golly. So we've got a very linear atmosphere this evening, so the signals are not being rotated or bounced around. Anyway, we'll let you go. There's probably some others in the Bay Area. I'm kind of looking for Alpha Foxtrot 6 United. He's in Watsonville. I'm sorry, yeah, in Watsonville area. And I'm also looking for KW6S. You may hear them, and I'll tell them you're on here if they come in. KW6S is in Santa Cruz. How about it, Tom? KW6S, are you there?
Tom is not going to be here tonight, but Alpha Fox 6 United, I am here.
Oh, okay, good evening, Lee. Good signal. I didn't try peeking on you. I think I'm pointed a little bit too far north for you peak, but it's certainly plenty of signal. Are you hearing the station there in Los Altos running 35 watts to a whole loop?
Negative. I'm not hearing him, but again, I'm pointed east right now, pointed pretty much at you, so I would have to rotate the antenna around, and I probably wouldn't be able to talk with you at that point.
That's probably true. Did Tom contact you, or I don't remember him telling me that he wasn't going to be here tonight, over?
Roger, we were talking about some 40-meter antennas since I'm contemplating a different tower for the HF stuff. So he and I have been talking back and forth about that, and he mentioned this morning that he might not be able to make it here tonight. So I'm not sure if he's got some kind of 4th of July extravaganza going on over there or what's going on. But that's as far as I know. AF6U, back to you.
Yeah, I don't know where he's located with respect to the pier. I'm assuming they're going to have some fireworks out over the ocean there, but I don't even know. Our fireworks here are pretty much curtailed to Shaver Lake, which is out of my view up above in the hills above me, so I won't be able to see much here tomorrow. But he wouldn't be out there tonight. This is still July 3rd, so he may be just out for dinner special dinner with one of his kids or something there. No worries. Good to hear you. Let's see. Rob is in here. Let's see if Rob's back, as Rob went down to finish his dinner. And I'll see if he's back here and can copy you, and or anybody else that can copy you over here in the San Joaquin Valley. This is Mike, K6MYC, looking for anybody that's copying Lee, Alpha Foxtrot 6 United in Watsonville. Anybody? I guess you and I are all alone tonight, Lee, over.
Yeah, it looks that way, and maybe everybody else is out chasing the 13 Colonies event that's happening on HF. I actually have been doing a lot of that last couple of days. I managed to get 10 of the 13 so far, so I'm getting close, but I haven't heard any of the bonus stations, especially the one in Great Britain and the other one that's in France. So I'm crossing my fingers and seeing, hoping that the band is going to pick up. I'm limited pretty much to 20 meters at this point in time. I don't have anything on 40 or 80, so I'm pretty much stuck on 20 because conditions up to 10 meters is not very favorable these days. Anyway, so I hope you're going to have a nice 4th of July. We're going to sit up here overlooking Watsonville, and we're going to watch all of those crazy people down in town pop off all of their fireworks. There's usually a pretty impressive display, despite the fact that the cops are going, yeah, we're going to crack down on everybody, and we're going to arrest you all, and you're all going to go to hell and burn there. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyway, it's usually a pretty spectacular event that lasts from about, I don't know, a few minutes before sundown, all the way on past midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. It's quite the show. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. AF6 United, back to net.
Yeah, finally, very good. Okay, on the spectacular show there, that we won't have anything like that here. I don't think they're going to do anything. They used to have fireworks on Millerton Lake, which is about a mile from me, and we used to go up there and watch the fireworks. I can't see the lake from here. We might be able to see some of the fireworks, but I think they've curtailed that. The lake isn't quite big enough for a fireworks that goes out of where it's supposed to be going and might start a fire up here. We've already had 4 or 5 fires in this area, so everybody's going to be overcautious for sure. I think the whole thing is going to be at Shaver Lake tonight, which is bigger, and they seem to have that one under control. So I can miss him. I can't see him anyway, so it's becoming a moot point to me, Lee. All right, take care, and we'll see you on Sunday night, I hope. Have fun on the weekend. Oh, John, K6 Mexico, Italy, has already just reported that he's just finished working all the 13 colonies. He's missing... I think he even said he got the bonus ones. Bonus is Great Britain, France, and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania should be easy, but I would pay attention to 20 meters from about 10 o'clock to midnight tonight. 10 o'clock to midnight. The band's been open pretty good, so you might have some luck on that at that point in time. Maybe even earlier, but I wouldn't swear to it unless they're really dedicated people over there in France. Hi. 7-3, Lee. Good luck with the colony thing. And again, K6 Mexico, Italy, just completed, I think.
Q6, Mr. Bravo, 971. Good evening, Mike.
I've got a couple of more stations to get, and yeah, I'm looking for those bonus stations. You know, last year it was kind of odd because they
I hear you, Dave. Stand by.
On things like D-Star and System Fusion and stuff like that, and it's like, what's the adventure to that? I mean, it's all just, why don't you just send a text to somebody or whatever? It's not radio at all. So now we'll see about that. But anyway, I'm going to try and do it all radio all the way. All right, K6MYC, AF6 United, back to you.
Yeah, it'd be really easier if you had a big antenna like I've got, 6 to 20 log at 60-foot boom, 14 elements at 90 feet. You could knock them off in 20 minutes, over.
Yeah, you make me laugh. I should be so lucky. Well, but I am going to be up at 50 feet by the time all is said and done, knock on wood. So, and up on top of the hilltop where I'm at, that's usually a pretty good advantage. I've been actually breaking the pileups pretty quickly, and even with some stations that I thought were never going to, no chance in hell that they were going to hear me, and I came through. They didn't even ask for me to repeat my call, so I was pretty impressed with that. Anyway, I'll say 7-3, happy 4th of July to you and Judy and everybody else out there, and we'll look forward to being on the air on Sunday. K6MYC from AF6 United, back to net.
Okay, thanks very much, Lee. Good to hear you. Good luck with the catching of the last few there. And what are you using for 20 meters, a wire?
Oh, yeah, I've just got my cobweb that's on the flagpole about 20 feet off the ground, 20, 25 feet off the ground, so nothing terribly impressive, but it has been, I know that the solar conditions have been contributing a lot to that, though, too, but I've been talking to South Africa on it, and I've been talking into Eastern Europe and Western Asia, and I get down to New Zealand and Australia. I'm talking all over the place on the darn thing. It's working reasonably well, and that's why I really want to get that other antenna and tower in place and operating, because I know it's going to make a world of difference, no pun intended. All right, K6MYC from AF6U. I'll say 7-3 and good night and happy 4th of July to you and Judy.
Well, I can tell you from experience, what you're telling me is that you've got a very good QTH, so you've got a good spot there with the little rise and the altitude and stuff, so you're gonna do very well from there, no matter what you put up, Lee. Good luck, 7-3. See you Sunday night. AF6 United, K6MYC. Anybody else before I go into the Bay Area?
Dave was in there, K6ZBG.
I got Dave. I did forget him, though. Dave, go ahead.
I'm just kind of in and out, Mike. May go and sit in the air conditioning. Just, how are you today? Well, it was kind of warm today.
Yeah, 1 or 2 degrees warmer than the day before. It's supposed to cool a little bit tomorrow, so look forward to that. Hi. Good evening. I haven't heard, I think Daryl's got 432 here. He's got something up that he uses on 432, doesn't he, Rob?
I think we've heard him before. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, good to hear you, Dave. And I heard you when you break in, but you weren't copying the station that I was hearing at the time, which was a mobile station running 35 watts in Los Altos to a whole loop. Over.
No, I wasn't hearing that at all. Of course, I'm pointing at you, not up there.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I thought he was doing really good for a whole loop that far away. That's outstanding on the top of his car there. So, 432 whole loop, all 3/4 inches square of it. It's just amazing that little thing can do what it does, isn't it?
I know, those things are remarkable. Yeah, I seriously thought about putting up a set.
Stand by, I hear you, but hang on.
On my tower, just to play with.
Okay. Well, it'll be a disappointment after what you have up there is working, obviously. All right, I hear other people in the Bay Area calling underneath, so we'll let you go, Dave, but good evening to you. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the 4th of July, and we'll see you Sunday night, I hope. K6BG, course gold, K6MYC, now QRZ for the Bay Area. Yeah, good evening, Fred. I must not be quite pointed at you, so if your next transmission a little longer, I'll get peaked on you, because you should be a lot louder on 432 here. Anyway, good evening, KD6SOK 507, go ahead.
Hey, good evening, Mike. Yeah, not quite peaked yet. I had a question
about your launch periodic antenna? You said it has a 60-foot boom. What kind of a rotator are you using for that thing? Because it's got to be, I mean, that's a lot of weight, especially when you get high winds. Doesn't that, what kind of a rotor are you using for a 60-foot boom?
No, I've got 9 of them. It's the Orion, the same rotor I turn everything with here, Fred. The Orion turns that antenna just fine. It hasn't had any problems whatsoever. Antenna weighs 500 pounds, and the longest element is 86 feet long. So it's a big antenna. Full size on 6 megahertz all the way to 20, over.
Yeah, that's huge, man. 500 plus pounds. That's a big antenna. Those Orion, I've never heard of those before. Is that like a 3/4 horsepower, 1 horsepower motor, electric motor in those?
You've never heard of an Orion? They've been made and sold for 20 years. I don't know how you missed that. No, just go to our website and look at the Orion 2800. It's a worm drive. Very powerful, but it's shaped like a triangle. The case is triangularly shaped, so it's a big rotator, but it's because it's triangular shaped, it can fit into even the top section of LM470s and LM454s and stuff like 354s and so on. So it has a small profile, but it's powerful, over.
Okay, I'm familiar mostly with the high gain and the Yaesu rotors, and some of the Yaesu rotors are pretty massive. They're pretty big. I've seen some of those, especially the ones that can do azimuth, for satellite work. Those things are monstrous, and they're pretty expensive too.
Okay. Is anybody else on frequency? I want to get a radio check on Fred's audio. All of a sudden, it went funny on me.
6KLY. I'm not hearing it, Mike.
Okay. Russ, did you hear anything on Fred's signal? It was like chopped up.
No, have him transmit again so I can listen more closely, over.
Okay, good evening to you. By the way, there's a mobile that checked in, WA6MZE in Los Altos area. I worked him 35 watts in a whole loop, but his number blew me away. He's number 1111. 4 ones instead of 3, Russ. Anyway, Fred, make a transmission. Let's see if we can have Russ give you a confirm or an okay on the audio there. All of a sudden, it was kind of garbled, and I couldn't copy much. KD6SOK, K6MYC in the group.
Yeah, your audio is kind of garbled as well, so I don't think the band conditions are really good tonight on 432. In fact, I think they're actually very poor, because usually you come in here 10 over 9, and you're nowhere near that. You're like F3, so and sometimes you bump up to an F4, but the conditions aren't very good right now. 432. That's okay.
Hey, sounds fine, Mike.
Okay, yeah, and you got mobile flutter on you. You got motorboat flutter on you, so the band is just all of a sudden going weird on us. Must be the time of day. Everybody was perfect copy with no fading and no QSB and no motorboating or anything up until just a couple of minutes ago, Fred. So not to worry. Russ says you sound fine, so it's okay. Enjoy the 4th of July, Fred. KD6SOK, K6MYC.
Okay, Mike, you too, Russ, F3, everyone, KD6SOK.
And I am peaked on you, went back and forth, and peaked on you, so you're way, way down from normal on 432 here. All of a sudden. That's weird. Russ sounds normal. Russ, pick it up, and I think there was 1 or 2 others in there. K6KLY. You might take a listen and see if the mobile's still here. His number is 1111. See if WA6MZE will come back to you there. Go ahead, Russ.
All right, WA6MZE, do you copy K6KLY? No, nothing. Anybody else in the Bay Area wanting to check in, K6KLY? Okay, you got WFC 775. Mike, there's one more I can tell is in there, but I can't pick him out, K6KLY. JNN's in here also.
Who is?
WB6JNN.
Okay, I've heard WB6, WNI. I hear you, Gary. And you're the only one beside Russ I've heard, so let me move the antenna around a little. Maybe I can find a spot for you guys there. I don't know why we're having trouble with Jim all of a sudden. WB6JNN, let's see if I can find you, Jim. Go ahead. Russ, I can hear Jim in there, but he's unreadable. I got him enough to get to his number. 285, we hear you, Jim, but it's very, very light copy, and it's chopped up with this current band condition. Did he say anything that I should respond to, Russ? Over.
Well, he's evidently watching the online stuff, so he knows that you're, the problem is you can barely tell he's in there. All right, there may be one more. Let's see who else was here in the Bay Area, K6KLY.
Oh, sorry, WB6WNI1090. Mike, I know you heard me, but I'm just still here.
Yeah, no, and you're much louder now. WB6WNI. Good evening, Gary. Good to hear you. And we also have Mike. Don't run away, Mike. KB6 Whiskey, KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie, I think. We'll get you in a minute, Mike. And anyway, Gary, go ahead, and I'll maybe move the antenna a little bit back and forth, but right now you're doing very well on 432, Gary, over.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Yes. Well, as everyone was saying, you were coming in very loud. You went down to 0S units, but you could still hear you perfectly at 0. And then you're back up to 3. So, yes, it is a flaky band. So, I won't hold it because you know it's take me while the sun's shining. So, I'll turn it back to you at K73. K6MYC 3679. We'll see you on Sunday.
Okay, we'll see you on Sunday. Enjoy your 4th of July tomorrow and the rest of the weekend, of course. It should be nice. Hopefully everybody will have good spirits and good things to talk about on Sunday. Politically wise, I'm a happy camper, of course, but depends on which side of the fence you're on. But I think that things are going pretty smoothly for Trump and all, and he's certainly got the stock market up, and everybody's happy, and the prices are coming down, and the economy is starting to boom. I know we're booming at the plant, busy at the plant, very busy, busiest we've been in 10 years, so I can't complain. Very, very big stuff happening for us, so that's good news for me anyway. But it sure gives me an idea that the industry around government and commercial and universities is booming. So much for that. Good evening, Gary. Now let's see if I can hear anybody else. I've got you, Jim, but it's just marginal copy. Now you may, and I peeked back and forth on it. I could barely hear you, just in one spot with the antenna, and I went back and forth a couple of times and could only find that one spot where I could even find you. So that's how bad it is tonight. That's funny. It just started this. I think we have to move the net about an hour earlier. That's what we'll have to do here. We'll have to do the net at 6:30. I think that's when it's the best. Everything was perfect at the beginning here. All right, QRZ Bay Area, W6PQL, KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie, KB6BA, AB6SR. Who? Anybody?
All quiet up here, Mike.
Okay, well, somebody said Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie was in here. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, he's in there. Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie is, and also W6PQL.
Okay, got you, and I'm peeking on you a little bit, but it's all of a sudden we've just got to a chopped up condition here. Over.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm hearing here too. It's just that typical jaunt over to the Bay Area from where you are. You got to do a lot of scattering, and it's just bubbling things around. Okay, very good. I'll let you go ahead and get back to Daly City.
Well, I should be pointed far enough north now. I moved quite a ways north for you, and your signal did not change. It didn't come up or go down. So I'm pointed up where normally I should be able to hear Mike. So, Mike, give it one more try. We've got you logged in either way, but I'd like to hear your signal. Normally, you're pretty good on 432. KB6WFC, K6MYC. Go ahead, Mike. Not a peep, Jim.
Yeah, you've got WFC checking in, Mike.
I know, but I can't hear him. I can't find a trace of him, Russ.
Okay, well, he's there. Check him in, please.
I got him already. I have him already, 775. Thank you. Tell him thanks. I'm sorry, I just can't find him at all. Different spots in the Bay Area. Sometimes he roars in here from Daly City. Right now, we must be trapped between a couple of inversion layers or something, because he's just non-existent, almost like JNN. Anybody else? KB6BA? I'm trying to think of anybody else in there. We got Jim, WB6PQL. Anybody else before we go further up north? K6MYC, Bozo Net, Bay Area. Over. Nothing heard. Thanks for the help, Russ. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, hey, Mike, I'm going to be doing a presentation on VHF contesting up here for the San Mateo Radio Club.
Hey, Mike, did you hear PQL?
18th, 2 weeks from tomorrow night. Can you spread the word, over?
Yeah, you got covered up. Stand by a second, Rob. You're doing a presentation on VHF for who?
Yeah, VHF contesting, over.
Okay, and who is it going to be on live stream or something?
It'll probably be on live stream. Look for the San Mateo Radio Club. San Mateo Radio Club, 2 weeks from tonight, tomorrow night, on the 18th, over.
Okay, on the 18th of July, Russ is going to be doing an audio at San Mateo Radio Club, and it'll probably be live streamed. So on the 18th of July, you guys might tune in to that and see if you can find the website for the San Mateo Radio Club and catch Russ's dissertation on contesting in the VHF world. Over.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Yeah, you betcha. Remind me again through the week, Russ, and I'll keep mentioning it. I'm surprised that WA6MZE didn't stick around, because he was quite strong and very steady here. But with the conditions, the way they changed, maybe I lost him. But he was just rock solid in there with the 35 watts on a single hole loop, Russ. It was amazing compared to all the other stations that I'm having trouble with. He was even better copy than PQL. You're the only one that's very steady, but you got the elevation, of course. 7-3, guys, K6MYC, clear in the Bay Area, looking for anybody else, and then moving to Oakley. Yeah, I did get PQL, Rob. I talked to him already.
Okay, thanks, KM6SR.
Were you hearing him?
No,
Okay. No, I worked him. He was just all chopped up, and he said the same thing on me. Okay, let's go to Oakley. Well, I'm not that far off of Oakley. This should be pretty close to you there, Ken. N6 Radio Oakley, K6MYC, over.
K6MYC, N6RO, Bozo 835. High temperature 91 and getting cooler tomorrow, we hope. And dinner was the usual Thursday night. No cooking, Costco, chicken salad, Caesar salad. So, can't think of anything else going on. No contest this weekend. Well, actually, there's a VHF contest. I haven't looked up the rules, but CQ Worldwide VHF or something like that. So we'll see on Sunday night if the creek don't rise in 6RO.
Yeah, the CQ contest doesn't get very big play out here on the West Coast. I don't know why. I don't know if it does much on the East Coast either, but it's kind of diminished in stature and in publicity over the last few years, and most guys even forget about it. Most guys don't even know about it. So this weekend, the contest from CQ Magazine VHF, I guess, do you have any details on when it starts? I'll try to get in there and make some noise, at least stir up a little bit of energy, Canover.
Yeah, we'll probably do the same thing. I think it starts at a strange hour, 5 o'clock in the morning or something, but I'll be on it a more civilized hour. Hope to catch you in it in 6RO.
Okay, so it starts more or less on 7 o'clock on Saturday morning and goes to what time on Sunday? 4 o'clock or something?
I don't know. I got to check the rules.
Okay. I won't have a chance to talk to you unless you do it right now, between now and then.
Well, we'll see what happens. It's Saturday. We both should be up and around.
Okay. Yeah, I can look for you, and maybe we can find out what the timing is on the thing. Okay, very good. I'll look for you on 2 meters. I'll probably put 2 and 6 on for sure. 73s, Ken. N6RO, Oakley. K6MYC, anybody else in this direction on 432? Go ahead.
99.
Right. I hear somebody. Who was that? You must have the antenna in the wrong direction, Dennis. You're very fluttery and very weak. I think it's Dennis. WB6ISO, K6MYC, over.
Yeah, you're very fluttery this well. They're not awfully good here at the present time, and a lot of flutter and fading in and out. I just want to check in if you copy WB6ISO, Bozo 86, over.
Yeah, I've got you now. Band is really, really funny here tonight. You're coming and going on a regular basis. Good evening, Dennis. Do you have any other check-ins there?
No, the check-ins at the present time. Just wanted to jump in there and say good evening to you. And if Mr. Ken N6RO is still listening, I just wanted to say hello to him as well. But we're just checking in by ourselves and no one else tonight, over.
Yeah, good. Do you have the details on the CQ contest, the VHF contest this weekend, when it starts and so on?
I don't know exactly what time it starts. Is it 11 o'clock like normal?
Well, Ken thought it might be earlier, like 7 in the morning.
I don't know for sure.
Okay, well, we're going to get on sometime when I get up and make noise. So I'll be on 6 and 2, and maybe we can find somebody and make a little noise, make a few contacts, and find out what the parameters are. Thanks, Dennis. WB6ISO, K6MYC.
Okay, Mike, very good. We'll check and we'll see what the band has, and we'll make some noise if we possibly can. Take care, stay cool. Hello to you. We'll see you in this evening. 73, WB6ISO, Bozo 86.
Yeah, when you turn around, can you hear Redding? Redding checked in, and I worked him on phone. KD6 Sugar Whiskey, we checked in last week on phone on 432, but I might not hear him tonight. Can you turn around and call him?
I can certainly turn around and give a call that way and see if I can hear anybody that way. I'll certainly do that right now. WB6ISO, I'll swing the antennas up to the north.
You should have been on last night. We worked an Oregon station in Charlie, November 82. Dennis, that had everybody excited, over.
Oh, super. Yeah, I was worked at Bozo 61 down there, and he was coming in and faded right out. But yeah, great. We got some stations up in Oregon. That's great.
Yeah, he was in not too far from Ashland, Oregon. He was up on a hill. He's a rover, but he was running a kilowatt in a 15-element K1FO Yagi. and he had a nice signal down here. Most of the people copied him through the stream. I had pretty good copy on him, and he's got the new Bozo number 1210, and I heard him get it and repeat it to me, so it was pretty good copy, and guys all over the Bay Area and even south of here were hearing him, so maybe in the future you'll get turned around and you could be a net control for him. Over.
Super duper. Yeah, that's great. That is great. I know there was some talk. I was talking to guys on 75 and 80 meters in the morning. We had some stations up there. They were trying to get some put together for 2 meters 432. So that's great. Yeah, good news. Thank you.
Okay, I'll give you the call sign just so it's in your head. You might not have to write it down, but KC7 Oscar Yankee. King Charlie 7, Oscar Yankee was his call. Over.
Roger, got it.
All righty. So keep an ear out for him. He's a loud station. He was heard in Nevada and everything. Richard heard him up in Nevada and so on. So there you are. 7-3. Turn around and I'll wait to see if you hook up with Rich up there. KD6 Sugar Whiskey. I'll stand by.
Okay, I'll see if there's anybody up in the Clear Lake area. Okay, WB6 ISO, we're swinging antennas that way over right now.
Well, he's swinging. Darren, are you in here? KJ6KFB. Bill, KO6KD. Got your 776, Roger. Stand by. Let's let Dennis see if he can work Rich up there, and then we'll peak on you. We will peak on you in a few minutes. Over.
Roger. Copy.
Nothing up there at this particular time, so tell Mike it's all clear, it's all good now. Okay,
I got it.
I think Dennis put out a call several times. There is no response. Over.
Yeah, I got it. I can hear Dennis fine.
Okay, thank you. Nothing up at the present time. Hello, Darren.
Good day.
Oh, there's Darren. Hi, Darren. KJ6KFB 756. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mike. Kilo Juliet. Kilo Foxtrot Bravo 756.
Pretty darn good signal for what, 18 watts there, Darren?
Oh no, we're doing more than that.
Oh, that's right. You're up to 75 now with the 9700, aren't you?
Yeah, there we go. Now we got the dialed in a little bit better.
Yeah.
About 75 out.
Yeah, no, you're doing pretty well in here. Pretty good copy, and I'm hearing Bill as well. Won't keep you. Thanks very much for being there. KJ6KFB, K6MYC.
Yep, I just got out of one meeting, hopping from place to place, grabbed the snack, and here I am.
Yep, there you are.
I'm loud.
Yeah, getting loud. That's right. It's up and down a lot the last half hour. Over.
Oh, yeah, I noticed it. Okay, I'll let you carry on. Have a good one, Mike. And happy 4th, KJ6, KFC.
7-3, Darren, go ahead. Bill, if you're copying.
Yeah, that's it. I have nothing else to add, and perhaps we'll catch you in the morning. And let's see, there was just a couple of questions I got, but no worries. We'll address them next time around. That's it for now. 7-3, and to you and the net and everybody else. And John's waiting also to check in.
Yeah, John here in a second. Let me put the noise blanket on and see if I can stop these pops. Okay.
Have the noise blanket turned on, ran up all the way, and I run it on fast AGC in order to handle the pops.
I got it. It's working fine now. I don't hear the pops. And what was your 2 questions?
I'll talk to you in the morning. It's not appropriate for the net right now. I'll have to catch you on 40.
Okay, no problem. I should be there. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be there in the morning. Thanks, Bill. Good to hear you. K06KD. And I'll move up a little bit toward John, K6MYC, listening for KR6MR. Go ahead, John. Boy, oh boy, you're light tonight. KR6MR 759. We got you, but it's marginal. Marginal with a lot of fading and weak signal. You're much weaker than Bill tonight. Very strange. Anyway, got your 759, John. Make another transmission and see if it's going to get any better here. KR6MR, K6MYC, over.
Roger, Mike. I've never seen it like this. You do not move at all. I have no indication when you transmit over.
Yeah, too much fading. I'm missing every other word, so I wasn't able to tie that one together.
Okay, I will try to talk slower or repeat. Did not copy you on the S-meter. There was no S-meter movement. No S-meter movement on you at all. Over.
Roger, no S-meter movement. Perfect copy. When you slow down, that helps a lot to slow down. That gets rid of the choppy fading. Hi. Thank you, John. Perfect copy on the last transmission. Not strong, but solid. KR6MR 73. We'll see you Sunday. Have an enjoyable weekend. Enjoy the 4th. K6MYC. 73, John.
Mike saying 73.
Roger. 73 is Mike. 73. I'll at least look for you Sunday on 2 meters. Good.
73, John.
Roger.
Okay, KD6SW, KD6 Sugar Whiskey, KD6 Sugar Whiskey. Anything up there tonight, Rich? KD6 Sugar Whiskey, Reading, Charlie November 80, KD6 Sugar Whiskey, K6MYC, calling and listening for your CW. Boy, I don't hear a trace of CW, so maybe he just isn't there tonight. We had a phone contact with him last week. I'm done. Let's see, is there anybody else in this direction up and down the San Fernando, Sacramento Valley? K6MYC Bozo Net 432, over.
Whiskey 6, Papa Echo, almost in that direction.
Oh, you are? Hi, John. Mike. Good evening to you. Nice signal here tonight. W6 Papa Echo in Oakhurst, K6MYC. Go ahead.
All right, yeah. Propagation on this end seems to be fairly good. I think one thing that helps, the beam I have for 2 meter and 432 has a lot broader beam width than the 1296 one. So if I'm kind of aimed in the right direction, I got it. So and also there's a little bit more power here on 432. I guess one of these days when the bank account builds up a little bit, I'll be looking to get a amp for 1296.
Yeah, that'll be good. It'll be real good. And you've got a high enough location. You should start to hear some of these stations outer ways on 1296. I don't know what your terrain looks like, but the altitude you're quoting to me is indicating that you should have a pretty good shot You should hear everybody north for sure, up to Oakley N6RO. He's got a booming signal. You should hear him in Oakley. Runs about 600 watts, 600 watts up there. And then there's some stations in the Bay Area that you might have a good shot with. W6PQL, 600 watts. KW6S, Kilo Whiskey 6 Sugar in Santa Cruz, 600 watts. So there's 3 or 4 around that got bodacious signals, and then there's others that are in below that. But you get the big guys, and you know you're close to getting the littler guys. So there you go. Good evening to you, and enjoy the... I don't know if you're going to see fireworks from where you are. You may have to drive to Shaver to see the fireworks, Mike, over.
They do a lot of times have fireworks up here on Bass Lake. At least they used to. I haven't heard if they're going to have anything up here this year or not. And I usually don't go to that because I can't see it from the QTH. And if you drive there, you're going to spend 2 hours driving back, and I'm only about 5 miles from the lake, so I have better things to do with my time than sit in the traffic. But at least I can hear the booms.
Yeah, well, you could always leave before the show is over.
Yeah, that I could. Although I just don't like having to deal with traffic. That's why I moved up here to Oakhurst and got out of the Bay area. That was driving me insane.
Yeah, well, it's even worse in L.A. I used to drive in L.A. traffic, and that's nightmarish comparatively. This is a piece of cake up here. 7-3, Mike. I'm kidding you. But no, I understand. I don't have to see the fireworks anymore. It's one thing when you're a kid, but I'm at 88 and blind anyway, so all I can hear is the booms. Over.
Yep. Yeah. I'm with you on that. You know, it's there's a lot better things to do with my time. That's a lot more important. And besides, if you want to boom, just take an electrolytic in one of your capacitors for your amps and switch the polarity, and you'll get a boom.
Yes, you will. If that's what you're looking for, is thunderclaps. Yep. All right, take care, and we'll see you on Sunday night. Enjoy the weekend there. W6PE, K6MYC. Now, anybody else before I go to Nevada? Over. Okay, nothing heard. Here we go to Nevada. And there is Nevada. And I'm going to call up, and first station in Nevada as I just break over the 360-degree mark. N7 Victor Alpha Zulu, N7 VAZ, N7 Victor Alpha Zulu. Any chance you're hearing me, Eric? K6MYC, over. I don't hear him, Richard. KD6BQ. How about you? KD6 Bravo Queen, K6MYC. Yeah, I got your 249 all okay, Richard. Pretty strong. A little bit of QSB. So phone would be probably Q4, but good signal. Thanks for being there, of course. Let me see if Daniel's there. Daniel's probably there too. He's home, so we worked him yesterday, so he should be home as well. Let me shoot it over to Daniel and see if he's there, and I think if Larry's here, he'll break in. KE7 UQL, I should say. Kilo Echo 7 Uniform Quebec London, K6MYC. Go ahead, Daniel. Okay, 272, very fluttery and very weak, but we have your 272. We have your 272, Daniel. Thank you very much for being there, and hopefully the conditions will improve in a minute here. Let me turn it back to you. Give me a little longer transmission. Maybe I can find a better peak on you. KE7UQL near Carson City, K6MYC.
You're
sounded pretty good now. I think the conditions have returned. This is 272 KG7UQL, over.
Yeah, now you're coming up like you're in the room with me, so big differences in the QSB tonight. Thanks, Daniel. Good to hear you. And you didn't tell me. Let's see. Where did you go on your vacation?
The middle of Nevada, out Highway 50 over.
Oh, okay, not too far. You went out for mostly fishing and stuff, didn't you?
Yes, Roger. Yes, beautiful country out there. The streets are flowing and the temperature in the mountains was very good. And I'm going to avoid the 4th of July crowd.
Yeah, very good. Well, it sounds like you had a good time, and welcome back for sure. I don't hear Larry, but I'll take a standby and see if Larry's there. I think you can hear Reno, so you might give a call and see if N7 Victor Alpha Zulu is there. You want to give him a call on the back of your beam, Daniel?
Okay, Roger.
A voice. Okay, you faded way down, Daniel, so I'm going to have to ask you a couple of times if you heard him. I think I heard him in there, but maybe I was just hearing you. You got really, really weak there for a little bit. Did you hear anything? Did you hear anything from N7 Victor Alpha Zulu? Over? He was there, he said. Roger, Rob.
Okay.
It's 1193, no, 93, sorry, 1193. Okay, Daniel, I'm struggling with you. It's just the band. The band is really flaky tonight. But we got it. Thank you very much for helping out with Eric up there. Thank you very, very much for helping out with Eric. Thanks much, and we'll see you Sunday. Enjoy your 4th of July weekend. Enjoy the 4th of July weekend, Daniel and Eric and Richard. And I'll shoot it back to you, Daniel, see if I can hear your final. KE7UQL for a final, K6MYC, over.
You guys are doubling.
I heard the word doubling, so I guess you didn't hear that.
He said N7ZU was doubling with you, Mike.
Yeah.
K6MYC from November 7 Victor Alpha Zulu, Bozo 1193, over.
Now you're strong. Very nice copy now, Eric. Good evening. I got your 1193 directly from you. And thank you very much for being there. N7 Victor Alpha Zulu Reno, K6MYC Bozo Net, over.
Good, Eric. Go ahead.
It's up and down. I must have caught a peak. Roger, Daniel. Signed off. Good enough, Eric. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. And quite a nice signal when you peaked up there. Very nice audio. 73s. K7 Victor Alpha Zulu, KD6BQ for a final with KD6 KE7UQL. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for the help. K6MYC. Go ahead, Richard. pleasure. Thank you as well. Enjoy your weekend. Have a good 4th of July, guys, and we'll see you later. KB6, KD6BQ, KE7UQL, KN7 Victor Alpha Zulu, K6MYC. We'll be clear, and I think we're about done, Rob.
Okay, you got a count?
No, I got a lot, but I don't know. I don't have a count, no.
Okay, I think I got 25.
N7BA dead. Let's go up there, over.
Okay. I got put 25 down. I don't think you missed anything at the beginning, did you?
I don't think so. I heard you whistle up way before 7:30.
Yeah, first in was 107 there.
Yep, Dane. And I forgot to ask you last night if Dane was in there. I thought you either called him or talked to him.
Well, you would ask me that. I don't know if Dane's got 1296. No, that would be 2 meters. Now, I believe he was in there, but I can't swear to it.
Well, I put him in there, so he's there. No, last night was 2 meters.
2 meters. Yeah, I don't know. I think he was there. Now, Dan was in there tonight. He's unusual and not regular, but almost always Dane is in there one end to the other. Okay. Good evening to you, Aaron. Thanks for doing the stream. And we'll see you have a good weekend, and hopefully you get the kids to the fireworks show somewhere. I don't know if there's going to be anything down in your end of the world at all. You don't want to have to drive to Shaver Lake to see them, I don't think.
No, we're going to do stuff out in the street tomorrow, and then we're going to go to the Grizzlies game on Saturday, and they have fireworks on Friday and Saturday, so we'll skip the crazy day at the baseball stadium, and so they'll get the little fireworks in the street tomorrow, and then they'll get the big ones on Saturday at the baseball game.
Yeah, okay, good. I guess they could do small ones inside the park there.
Oh, they shoot them up in the air. So, and sometimes they'll let the families and stuff go sit out on the field, and they shoot out the fireworks in the just past the outfield fence. So they're practically right on top of you.
Yeah, no, I've been there a couple of times. I haven't been there for 20 years, but I remember when they first started that. I was there a couple of times with the wife. All right. Well, good. Enjoy. Hope the kids enjoy that, and we'll catch you Sunday night. K6USY with Brittany in the background, and KR6MR with Candace in the background. K6MYC closing the 432 Bozo Net in Northern California. 7-3 all.
All righty, good night, Mike. K6USY. Go ahead, Rob.
And good night, Mike. K6MYC, KM6SR, 73.
What'd you do with Larry's tower?
Oh, Beckman got it all down, plus a few other little antennas he had on the roof, and we got it over at Larry's new house there, sitting on the trailer. So I guess Ken is pretty tired from doing that because I haven't heard him around. But they're supposed to maybe go over Monday and start putting antennas together.
Okay, good. It'll be great to get Larry back on the air. Does he have a tower base and everything ready over at his house there?
Yep, he poured it quite some time ago, and he was lucky that he found the tilt-over fixture. He didn't think he needed it, and he was going to give it to somebody, and somebody had it, and the person never came to pick it up, and they figured out that Rob Mavis had it, so they got it back.
Oh, very good. It's a LM470, as I recall.
Yeah, I think so, and he doesn't have the normal tilt-over fixture. He's got the one where it pivots a ways up, and the back bottom kicks out the back.
Yeah, that's the normal one. That's the one that they used to sell. They have another base that they've made also, where I don't know where I got the bases. Both of my bases are flat plates. But the flat plate part of it was always there, and then the fixture attaches after that or on top of that, and then the tower can still tilt in from the 5 or 6, 7 foot level. But I got rid of mine a long time ago. I like to see them tilt over from the base. All right. Good evening, guys. Take care. See you, and have fun this weekend. I guess Aaron's going to, not Aaron, but Adam's going to be back Saturday. If anybody hears from Adam, you called him for me this morning. I'll try to reach him on Saturday and see if I can get these chainsaws over to him. If anybody's going into town, maybe they can swing by here and get these two chainsaws and drop them at Adam's place. Other than that, we're good for the weekend here. K6MYC.
Okay, Mike. K6MYC, KM6SR, 73.
73.
Oh, Mike, I got the times on that contest.
I'm ready.
It's 1200 UTC Saturday to 1200 UTC Sunday. So subtract 7 from 12.
Yeah, 5 in the morning.
Yeah, so Ken had it right.
Well, he had it for 7 o'clock Oco, but I don't think that's 7. I think 15:30 is 8:30, so back up from that 3.5 hours. 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it's pretty early. So, yeah, as everybody said, those contests are not as active. And of course, this weekend is, with 4th of July, everyone's going to be at the beach.
Yeah, who knows? Well, I may turn 2 meters on and listen a little bit, and have 6 meters going as well. See what happens. I'd like to catch some openings on 6. I'm running out of time to work my friend in Indiana. The first week or two up to about July 11 is usually pretty much the end of the E-season.
Yeah, I'm up to, let's see here. I was looking at how many grids I have. 143 grids. I need 7 more to get my next sticker.
Oh, very good. I don't collect grids. I collect planets.
Very good. All righty, we'll catch you later. K6USY.
Good night.
And good night, Aaron. K6USY, KM6SR, 73.
Yeah, good night, Rob. You got everything put away from field day?
Yep, today I finally took the last thing out of the truck.
Oh, nice. I dumped out the car on Sunday, and I was intending to not put everything away right away, and then I realized I didn't really have any room to dump stuff, and so I just had to start putting stuff away. So everything got put away on Sunday.
Well, that's good. I ended up washing down the tables and cleaning some stuff up and getting it organized better. When I threw everything in boxes, I had stuff all mixed up.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, that's always an opportunity to, reorganize stuff, and then you'll forget where it is 6 months later.
Well, I was putting a lot of similar stuff, like, the support ropes for the wire. I was putting that in the package with the wire and the little pulleys to go with it, and some of the other things I Velcroed together in such a way that make it easier to deploy.
Yeah, at some point, we should figure out why that wire wasn't happy on 80 meters. I didn't have a chance to sweep it well, and I didn't have my Nano VNA with me, but I'm kind of curious where that antenna was tuned.
Well, I wish you'd spoke up. Yeah, I had my Nano VNA there, plus the MFJ 269C or whatever it is, because Guy was looking for some analyzation of an antenna he had.
Yeah, I just didn't have time to mess with it, and because Ken wasn't going to do CW, I didn't worry about 80 meters at that point. But, yeah, I was still kind of curious of why that, put that thing all the way up in the air and it didn't want to work on 80.
Yeah, and I thought I had it up good enough. The center was probably 40-some feet high, and then it came down to the fence, which was about 18 feet, and then it came down on the other side to the swing deal, which was probably about, maybe 12 feet.
Well, it's possible it was too long because they a lot of times they ship those long, and you got to shorten them up. But of course, we didn't have the time to dink around with shortening up the ends of that antenna to try and get it in. But I bet if you threw it back up and checked it, it's probably just a little too long.
Okay, and I guess at 80 meters that's more sensitive, but they say it was all tuned up and all you got to do is deploy it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's worth messing with at some point. That'd be a good antenna to put up underneath a tower, to get on 80. So you might end up putting it back up at some point. So you'll have to play with it.
Yeah, I was figuring that's my HF antenna I needed to get up so I can get on HF.
Yeah, it's a good place to start. And it might even, I mean, it's long enough, it might even work on some of the other bands. I know usually if you got 40 meters dialed in, you can also get 15 on the same antenna.
Okay. And then also, I guess you took home the buddy pole there, so or hex beam. So I guess I need to get it from you sometime.
Yeah, I mean, I can bring it to the club meeting. So, yeah, right now I have 3 of them. I have the 2 club ones in mine sitting here. So I can always just, bring one of the club ones to the club meeting. I got a bunch of stuff I got to take to Marcus, so I'll make myself a note for next week to throw one of the hex beams in the car.
Yeah, okay. And do you put them back the same way they came from the factory? Because I was trying to figure out how everything was stored and stuff.
Well, for the most part, yeah. Everything's got to go back the way it comes out of the bag.
Okay. And I think I took out those little guy rope adjuster plates that I needed to use for my antenna that I was putting up. But I ordered more of those things, and they came in today.
Okay, yeah, I ended up not using them on either hex beam. Wrapping the ropes around the stakes, 4 or 5 times is usually good enough for a temporary install, and we didn't have any high winds or anything, so I didn't worry about it.
Yeah, my main use or reason for using them was to be able to adjust them quickly to get the mast, plumb, and then go from there.
Right. Yeah, and at some point we will probably have to take the ropes off the winders to get those things on there. So we'll have to take a look at it some way, because the problem is the end of the rope is tied into the winder.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we can do that. First thing I want to make sure is that the little hole in those things was big enough for the rope to go through.
Right, and that should be pretty easy to check.
Anyway, I'll probably wait till a week before next field day before I fool with it, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I tell you what though, I'm not happy with the turnout and how much work was involved for the 2 of us and Ken, and it's like, well, unless we get some other interest next year, I'm not motivated to volunteer to do it again.
Yeah, that's the same thing Ken was saying when I was talking to him. I don't know if it was yesterday or today. So it was funny because I was the one kind of negative while we were doing it, and I guess one day I forgot about all the work and was, thinking that, hey, maybe we'd try it again.
Well, maybe we'll all forget in a year, and then we'll talk ourselves into it.
Yeah, got to figure out how to get more people. I was talking to Rob Mavis today, and he said just people got other priorities. They're just not interested in doing it anymore. All the old timers are gone.
Yeah, and it's just disappointing because you look at some of the other, I've seen some of the info coming out of some of the other field days elsewhere in California, and some of these groups, they're running these massive stations. They got a couple hundred people coming in and out, and then the public, they might have 500 people come by on the weekend. But of course, I got to remember a lot of the time these guys are down in Southern California where you got a captive audience.
Yeah, and I don't think they're too much out in the boonies like we were. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. I'm still somewhat interested. I really enjoyed camping out and the camaraderie and stuff. And I love setting up camps and stuff like that. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I just wish we had more people operating. That's what it really comes down to. I don't mind setting it up. It's just I had to set it up, and then I ended up having to run my station most of the time. So but oh well. Yeah, we'll see what happens next year. I already told the wife, I was like, well, maybe when the kids are a little bit older, we'll just go do field day as a family.
Yeah, that's the way of doing it.
And then that way I can make the kids do half the work.
Uh-oh. No, don't lean on them too much. They won't like doing it.
No, we'll make it fun. It's like you get $1 for every QSO or something. I don't know, that'd probably make me bankrupt. But yeah, it's like if you want your college fund, you have to work the radio.
Yeah, something like that, I guess. Well, anyway, I still had a good time.
Yeah, at least the weather wasn't terrible. It definitely could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, that's for sure. So it was really nice. If it was a lot hotter, I suppose it would still be more reasonable up there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I just think next year you just got to make it so that you're not having to do anything with food, and make it so you don't have to leave.
Yeah, that's true. I thought about that. I won't volunteer for the food unless I get a commitment out of the wife being here to make it up beforehand. So, yeah, that was kind of a bummer. I missed Larry up there. Larry said he was up there for 4 hours, and I said, I didn't think he was. Maybe it's 4 hours from home because it takes an hour to drive up and back, and then he drove up to our site, and he went down to Paredes and then back up again. So that's probably where his time came from.
Yeah, I'd say Bud in the chair, he was probably only actually there for like an hour, maybe hour and a half. But yeah, the whole thing probably took up some time. But yeah, he kept trying to make contacts on the FM rig, and I was trying to get him to go over to the other station and help out Carrie, but he didn't want to go over there.
I don't know. He just says he's always tired, so maybe he didn't want to trek that far, huh?
I don't know, man. He trucked all the way up there to start with, but yeah, and I'm glad Carrie showed up at 11 a.m. because I was sitting there by myself at 11 looking around going, okay, I guess I'm doing this by myself.
Yeah, I blew it by leaving, but I didn't know any other way of doing it. I mean, I ran out of time to make it up there when you guys started, so I had to go whether I had everything or not, done.
Yeah, you just need to have less stuff to do.
Yeah, and some of it I've done, and I don't have to do it again. Like, I never had my portable station really all put together like it is now, so that should go easy.
Yeah, now you can go do Parks on the Air. Yeah, I had the advantage of doing a combination of Parks on the Air, camping, and then a lot of the stuff I had set up at Vintage Days is what I brought up to Field Days. So I already kind of had everything put together, and I knew what I needed to grab and what I needed, what I could leave. The only thing that kind of caught me off guard right at the end was realizing, oh crap, I got to bring my power supply, and I still want to keep the 9700 here at home running. So fortunately, I have a backup power supply that I threw into service again real quick just to keep the 9700 running.
Yeah, okay. I've got a couple power supplies here. I didn't know you needed one.
Well, I wanted to bring mine because it's got the nice screen on it. It's got power pole outputs, and so it was just easier to just know which equipment I was bringing. But and frankly, I probably could have just left that power supply here and brought my backup. So I have two of them. I just I didn't think it through. That it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to talk back to the wife, and I'm taking the power supply.
Yeah, you got an interesting situation there, so it can get complicated to make sure you got it all worked out right.
Yeah, and I think next time I might just leave the 7300 at home because, I'm glad I had it as a backup, but, these newer radios are so reliable, we didn't have a problem.
Yeah, and we got another station, too, so, that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the historical record for the club, and in previous years we used to do a 3 alpha, and it's like, oh man, I can't even think about trying to do a third station. Maybe next year we'll just do a 1 alpha.
Well, I don't know. There's not much more work doing the 2, but yeah, I don't. Ken was saying he used to hook up the computers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I took a lot of that stuff away from him, which is good. So he just had, he just got to focus on food. And I don't know. I mean, my preference is if we don't have people there to do food, then you just tell everyone they're on their own. But then, of course, Ken's like, well, if you don't do food, no one's going to come. It's like, well, but nobody came anyways, so then why are we trying to do meals?
Well, we had 14 people there for the dinner and 19 people total that participated. So, that's okay, I guess.
Yeah, but most of the people that were at the meal didn't get on the radio.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I don't know how you get them to do that. I guess we could insist a little more. They have to earn their food.
Yeah, because on the radio, we only had like 6 or 7 people, because I have the log and I have the list of call signs, and it was not as big as, the amount of people. And I get it, Gwen was up there, and I know she has her license, but, I don't expect her to get on the air. But there were some other people that showed up for dinner, and they didn't get on the radio.
Yeah, some of Ken's relatives that showed up, they don't have licenses, I don't think. Yeah, we missed Eli. That was a bummer. He probably would have got on a little bit too, and I know he would have enjoyed it. But yeah, Daryl didn't get on the radio. That came up from Coursegold, and but we did have some of the other guys who were there at the dinner got on. So I don't know.
Yeah, and then the other unexpected thing was having somebody show up at midnight and then wanting to operate, Sunday morning without us knowing. Like, I'm glad he showed up, but he only ended up making like 8 contacts, and, Ken's like, oh, where's the computers? We need to get this guy on the air. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know someone was showing up on Sunday.
Yeah, could we leave the computers out if we had them covered up?
Yeah, but probably wouldn't want to leave them running all night, so still would have had to set them up.
Yeah, well, that just consists of turning them on pretty much and plugging in the cables?
No, because there was a password required to launch the logging software. I had the computers running without administrative access, but the logging program had to run as an administrator, so you had to put the password in to get everything up and running.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't familiar on all that. Anyway, we appreciate you doing that for sure, because that was kind of, in my opinion, that's complicated there, doing all that.
Yeah, no, it was a good, even I had to learn something because, I've used one in MIM for the last, 2 years, but I've never run it in a networking mode, and I actually liked that part of it because I could keep an eye on what you guys were doing and, caught a couple of mistakes that people made at the other station, and the nice thing is I could monitor it from my side, so that part works great. And running the cable between the 2 laptops worked out really well, and of course, that's expandable. You could easily, run 4 or 5 stations. I would just have to add an actual network. But yeah, that part works great.
Yeah, network, you mean you'd probably add a hub and everybody goes to the hub?
Well, now it would be a switch, but yeah, same concept, yeah. And I have little 5-port, switches that you can plug in. The hard part would be getting that to run off of, a lot of those run off of 5 volts. So I'd have to get some kind of like a buck converter to run it off of 12 volt, because that's the whole thing of that weekend was trying to prevent having, the only thing I had running off of 110 was the fan, and I didn't end up using my fan. Yeah, everything else was on 12 volts.
Yeah, I thought you had a 12-volt fan. I just took my fan out of the truck today and put it away, and I was thinking, I didn't even need it.
No, it wasn't a 12-volt fan. It was a 110, and the second I turned it on, it started causing noise on the radio, so I shut it off and never used it the whole weekend. But we had a breeze the whole time, so it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I wanted to test out, what was it that I got? Oh, those lights and stuff. Do we know if they cause any interference?
No, the lights were fine. Yeah, and that actually worked out really good. You put it on the warm light and turn it all the way down, and it didn't completely destroy your night vision, and you could see the keyboard, and at least where things were. So yeah, those lights worked out great. So mine is in the bag with the laptop, and I intend to just leave it with the club laptop.
Okay. Well, I gave that to you, so I did order 2 more of them. They were supposed to be in today, but UPS had an issue with delivering it to the office, so I'm not sure what was going on. They were there the whole time, so UPS just got, messed up somehow.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have no use for that light here at home, so I'm just going to keep it with the club stuff. But it worked great for field day because running it off a USB made it easy because I had an extra USB port to plug it into, and it was running off my 12-volt system, so that worked out great. K6USY.
Yep, KM6SR. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I thought that was pretty good, so I ordered a couple more of them, so we'll have them. And I gave the model number and stuff to Mark, because he liked it too. So I didn't hear back from him. I assume he got it. I emailed it to him.
Yeah, and I imagine those lights aren't that expensive off Amazon, right?
No, $15, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy how cheap that stuff is.
Yeah, and they had a lot of features that I liked, the different colors, the different brightnesses and stuff. And they were 7 watts, so they weren't too bad either, using the LED.
Oh, yeah. But they weren't RGB, so you couldn't make them red.
You say they were RGB?
No, they weren't. They weren't RGB. So yeah, you just had the 2 color temperatures. But I'm just giving you a hard time because everybody's all big on everything having RGB lights on it.
Okay. Yeah, it went over my head. Yeah, I don't know. They for the price, I thought they did a pretty good job, and it was bright enough to see stuff. So I want to get some extras. Maybe I'll use that as a thing around the camp.
Yeah, they work pretty good. I mean, you could definitely run them off of like a little, power bank with a USB port on it. You don't need to plug them into a 110.
Yep, that's true. And I'm getting set up with different batteries and stuff, so I might get another setup too that I use in the tent.
Very good. Yeah, I was looking at Bioenno's got a sale right now, and their 60 amp hour battery is a buy one get one free. So you can get 2 60 amp hour batteries for like $450. But then right now they also have a promo where you can get a $150 gift card for $100. So you can basically get 2 60 amp hour batteries for $300 from Bioenno, and I'm like, oh, that's really tempting, but I don't need them, and I don't need to spend $300.
Yeah, that's interesting. I do need to get another bigger battery because I don't know. That 50 amp hour seemed to work fine for me, so I was thinking I need 100, and then I got it covered for all night long.
Yeah, well, and that's where that would be the next thing to do, would be to get it to where we don't need the generator at all. And I definitely would need a bigger battery to go all night. But, of course, we ended up just shutting off stuff off at midnight anyways. But I'd love to get to the point where we just don't need the generator.
Yeah, I think Ken would like that too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was great that we didn't have to run it during the daytime. We didn't have to deal with the noise, but yeah, no, if we can get it to the point where no one's got to hike that thing up there, and we don't have to deal with gas, and then we can just run the whole thing. And I know there's what is it? There's another bonus if you run off of if you run off of non-fossil fuels the whole weekend. So we ended up, we got the bonus for making contacts on solar, but you can also get additional points if you don't use a generator at all.
Okay, yeah, I think John Kiziktimai was saying something about that, but he was pushing a lot of different things to get you more points, and we're just trying to have fun and enjoy, and we didn't have enough people to handle all the little special things that you needed to do.
Yeah. Well, even then, we still qualified for like 4 or 5 extra point things without even like really trying. So that part was easy. And the only thing I had to submit documentation for was making contacts off of solar. So I sent them a picture of my station with the solar panel sitting next to it.
Huh. That works, huh?
Yeah, hopefully they take it. I'm like, what documentation do you guys need? So I just sent them a picture of the station, but all the other stuff required, like, for the safety officer bonus and some of the other stuff, that all requires documentation, which basically just means you have to have somebody sign off on a safety checklist and upload it. But yeah, we didn't bother doing that stuff. But everything else was just a checkbox, so that made it easy.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of documentation they want. I don't know what else you could send them except for pictures,
Well, as I said, for like safety officer, there's that checklist, that safety officer checklist, and you basically take that checklist, check everything off, and then sign it, and then scan that, and you submit that in with the application, and that's your documentation.
Yeah, for that, but for the solar, I don't know how you would do that.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what what they really wanted there, so we'll see what happens. But let me see what else. Yeah, so media publicity, you have to. So if you get media publicity, you have to like upload a copy of the article, and then if you copied the messages from the ARRL, you can just upload that you received them. Let's see what else here. Yeah, safety officer, site responsibilities. Yeah, so but the rest of it was just check a box.
Yeah, and we didn't get into any digital at all, as far as receiving the messages and stuff, or sending out a message to the section guy.
No. We could have, it depends on how they do it. So the problem with the W1AW transmissions is a lot of times we can't hear them on the West Coast. So that makes things complicated. So we're kind of at a disadvantage on the West Coast if the bands are sucky and we can't listen to the bulletin. But I know there's also a thing where you can get a formal message from your section manager or something like that. And I think you can do that over WinLink or something like that, which we could have done. I had the stuff with me to do WinLink.
Okay, yeah, I left my little USB, thing here, the Signal Link at home, so I didn't have it.
I have a Bluetooth one, and I can do it off of an app on my phone.
Okay, fancy enough.
But of course, you need to have somebody on the other end that you're sending the message to. That's what I'm looking at. I'm actually looking at it right now. The section manager message is separate. Yeah, so I think if you WinLink the section manager's email address, you can, and then if as long as they respond to it, I don't know. We'd have to figure out how to actually do that.
Yeah, well, we need to ask John. He's got all the answers. Haha.
Oh, I'm sure he qualified for every single possible extra bonus point that he could get his hands on.
Yeah, do you know how many points he got?
No, and I think he was still working on his log, so I don't think he's submitted it yet. I also don't know what call sign they operate under.
Yeah, and last year I guess he didn't have but maybe 2 of them doing it. Did he have more people this year?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him.
Yeah, I know he was still unloading the other day, so I didn't bug him about getting on the Bozo Nets that first night. I did the other night, but he said he didn't have a station back together.
Yeah, I think he took his, at least one of his HF rigs with him for 6 meters.
Yeah, they have extra stuff. That's got to be kind of involved. You have to be doing it for a while to acquire extra equipment.
Yeah. And that's the only other, one of the things I was thinking about with the extra, if I did want to bring, 7300s, is I could totally throw a duplexer on the hex beam, and we could have a dedicated 6-meter radio, but of course, that only helps you if 6 meters actually opens. But I was thinking, it's like, oh yeah, we could have thrown an extra radio in there and just dedicated it to 6 meters.
Yeah, does that mess up what you got for number of stations or whatever that they talk about?
That only matters for HF.
Okay, 6 meters isn't part of HF?
HF stops at 30 megahertz, and 6 meters is at 50.
Oh, okay. Well, I always thought they said that, I guess it's all the radios, all the HF radios always have 6 meters in it, so I guess I assumed that was all part of it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that's where 6 meters is landed, and it's like baked into all the HF rigs now, but it technically is a VHF band. So yeah, it doesn't count for the number of stations.
Okay, well, anyway, yeah, it was interesting. I think I'd like to do it again, but we'll just have to see if we can get more people.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get enough people going, oh, man, I wish I would have gone. And then we go, well, then you're in charge of this next year, and you're coming, and you're putting it on your calendar right now.
Yeah, that's the way of doing it, I guess. That's why the first net afterwards I said, well, you guys missed out, because we did have good food and, good operating conditions there.
Yeah, I ended up running into a Clovis member on Simplex. I think it was on 2 meters, and we told him he recognized the call sign, and I'm like, yeah, we're up here on the hill. Come on up. And he's like, oh, I got other stuff to do today, and I'm like, well, drop it and come up the hill.
Yeah, I can't remember if Terry was one of the guys that said he made contact with us or something or not. I don't remember. But anyway, and I made a comment because they asked me on the Clovis Net, about the field day, and I said, well, yeah, I didn't want to really horn in on your party there, but yes, all you Clovis people are welcome to come up, So I told them, at least the people listening on the net that one night.
Yeah, I wish we could get more participation between both clubs when we're doing stuff like this, because it makes sense with the amount of turnout that we're having to try to combine of events. It's just hard to get the Clovis guys to show up when we're the ones throwing the thing.
Yeah, I talked to Rob today at the fireworks stand and was asking him, I said, well, do you want to alternate years doing this thing or something? And that's when he said that people just aren't really that committed. But if we did combine it, which call sign would we use?
Well, if you alternate, you just alternate call signs.
Yeah, I was thinking about alternating where one club would do it one year and the next club would do it the next year. But it makes more sense going together if you can. I don't know.
Yeah, what is the, I'm trying to remember what the, there it is. Yeah, so the Clovis Club has K6ARP, which is a 5-letter call. That would be the only downside is that you'd have to use a slightly longer call sign. But, the Clovis Club's got a call sign, too. So it doesn't really matter which one you use. You just got to make sure you're using one call sign the whole weekend.
Yep, I don't know. Well, we'll just have to see how things go, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see how the rest of the year goes, and those were doing Vintage Days and Field Day were the 2 big events for the year. So, other than making sure we got meetings covered for the rest of the year, we'll just coast the rest of the year, I guess.
Yep, well, we need to plan some little things to do for next year, too.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And, of course, we got the swap meet and the club picnic, so we got some other stuff going. But, it'd be nice to, it's like, come on, guys, get on the air.
Yeah, I would have liked to have a little more time, but I was busy kind of playing catch-up on some stuff, so I didn't contribute very much to on-air activity.
Man, you guys were on a tough band. 20 meters was just being annoying, which is one of the reasons why I went over to 10 meters. I'm still shocked that I worked 85 stations on 10-meter sideband on Saturday.
Well, there are a lot of other people who were over there too, I guess, when the other bands got all jammed up.
Well, it was just me calling CQ and getting people's attention. It was a lot of 1 deltas, which is people working from home. So a lot of it wasn't other field day stations. It was just that 10 meters was open on the West Coast, and I had the antenna pointed in that direction, and I was parked on a frequency and just kept calling CQ and just kept, the stations just kept coming. Every once in a while I'd have nobody, but it was steady enough that, I was there for like 2 hours working stations on one frequency.
Huh, that's interesting. Well, it paid off, I guess.
But yeah, and that's one of the things I didn't have a chance to coach anybody else on is you guys were all hunting and pecking, whereas a lot of times what you need to do is just sit on a frequency and start calling.
Yeah, there's a lot of etiquette you need to know to professionally manage that frequency you're sitting on so that the other people don't get discouraged with you. And I don't know if too many people had that much experience to do that.
Yeah, that's the skill that needs to be taught. I've worked enough contests that and doing like parks on the air pileups and stuff like that I've gotten used to it. But I'm probably the only one that was up there. I'm sure Ken could run a frequency, but he didn't seem interested in making contacts.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he didn't. He was basically zoned in on doing some of the food stuff there. So he wasn't even planning on staying overnight, but I guess he did. He slept in his truck with a sleeping bag.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is at this point, Ken probably just has a feeling that he's already kind of worked everybody, and he doesn't have to get on the air, which is fine. That's his prerogative, and we did get some good meals out of him, so I'm not complaining about that. But yeah, it would have been nice if he got on at least CW.
Yeah, I was trying to encourage him, and he just wasn't really that interested. So I'm not sure what the deal was, but he seemed like he was just kind of tired because we did have him doing cooking on Friday night and Saturday night and all that. So he was contributing quite a bit of that stuff.
Yeah, and he probably got up pretty early on Saturday to do his dump run. So yeah, Saturday was probably a pretty long day for him.
Yeah, that's right. He had to come down too, like me. So I can relate to that.
But yeah, it was kind of funny though when I realized that working digital was worth the same amount of points as CW. So that's why when I was done working sideband, I'm like, well, I might as well just switch over to FT4 and FT8 and just work a bunch of people over there. And that's where we made a decent amount of our points, was just working digital.
Yeah, and that's easy to do, huh? So maybe I need to learn the process of doing that too. Is there any particular band that was better up for the digital?
I kind of worked all of them. I kind of moved up and around. I'm trying to think. I worked digital on 40. I worked it on 20. I think I worked at 15. I might have not made it up to 10, but 10 wasn't super open. But I worked digital on multiple bands. The only thing about field day is the FT8 part of the band, which is a tiny little section of 20 meters, was packed full of stations. So I ended up going over to FT4, which is on a separate frequency, and that ended up working out great because there was less people over there, and I just kept working stations. So part of it is, 20 meters is the hot spot, but there's so many people there that it just makes it aggravating sometimes to work people. So sometimes it pays off to not go where the crowd is, which is the same philosophy I used when I went to 10 meters and called sideband. It's like sometimes you just need to go somewhere else and you get lucky.
Yeah. Well, the digital, I thought there wasn't too much you had to do. It basically does it for you, and then you just tell it to move on to the next or something.
Yes and no. It all depends on if you're calling CQ or if you're responding to people doing CQ, and you still got to make sure that you're not transmitting on top of somebody, and you got to make sure it logs, and then at the end of it logging a contact, you got to re-enable it for transmit. So you do got to sit there and babysit it, but it is shooting fish in a barrel when it really comes down to it. Parts of it are automated. The rest of it, you're still babysitting the computer.
Yeah, I guess not too much worse than just doing voice, huh?
Well, yeah, with voice, I mean, you got to sit there in the chair the whole time. I mean, on Sunday morning, I was working FT8 and cleaning up at the same time. I just had to keep going back to the computer every 30 seconds. So, but, yeah, I've done it enough. I can kind of split my focus on that. There was a couple times I didn't get back to the computer quick enough, and it just stopped working stations. But, yeah, oh well.
Interesting. I guess I got a little bit to learn about that, too. K6USY, KM6SRR.
K6USY. But, yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, I still think it's ridiculous that that digital is worth twice as much as sideband for field day, but it is what it is. The second I realized that, I was like, really? Like, I can understand CW being worth more, but why is digital still worth twice as much as sideband? You know, basically, if you were only worrying about points, you basically wouldn't get on sideband the whole weekend. You just work digital and CW and just be done with it.
Yeah, interesting. Huh. Well, maybe we need to modify a little bit and try a little more of that. Now, the digital, it happens so fast. Do you get a chance to choose the people you're going for, or is it just finds out who's on the air and then tries to make contact with them? You know, as far as getting duplicates and stuff, seems like it'd be harder to control.
Oh, duplicates is not a problem. I had the software set up. It was color coding anybody that was new, and then once you worked them, it would change their color, and then you just ignore them. So that, yeah, working duplicates is easy to avoid because the software keeps track of who you've worked. And then, so if you're calling CQ, then stations are calling you, and you don't have to worry about who you're working. But then if you're not calling CQ, then yes, you do have to individually pick what station you're going to call. And if they're busy working somebody else, you got to just sit there and wait until they get to you, and they might not ever get to you because they might not be hearing you, and then you got to move on to somebody else. So a lot of times when I would first get on the frequency, I would start calling CQ and give everyone a chance to work me if they're hearing me, and then once the pool dried up, then I would try to go work other stations, because of course there's other clubs that are calling CQ the whole time, and if you don't try to work them, they won't ever try to work you because you're both just calling CQ all the time, and nobody ever works anybody. So yeah, you gotta use both techniques to work everybody.
Yeah, interesting. That's good information. I'm not that familiar with all that stuff, so that's good for me to learn.
Well, it's the same thing with sideband. Most of the big field day sites, they park on a frequency and call CQ, but then they'll have their go-to station hunting and pecking. Or if the pool dries up, then you might go hunting and pecking for people. But typically, from what I've read and seen what other clubs have done, they said that your best bet is to sit on a frequency and call CQ.
Yeah, and we didn't do that, so I guess we lost out on that part, huh?
Yeah, you guys didn't do that on your station. I did it on mine.
Yeah, and you got a lot more contacts than we did, so,
Yeah, it's, well, it also depends on what band you're on, too. As I said, I got lucky with taking a hunch on trying 10 meters, so that was I still consider that a fluke.
Yeah, but you went to FT4 too, and we wouldn't know to do that.
Well, I'm just talking doing sideband, but yeah. Well, and the thing is, there's other digital modes other than FT8 and FT4. I just don't know how popular the other digital modes are for field day.
Yeah, you mean like that JT86 or something like that?
Well, there's Rady and PSK31 and all kinds of other stuff that's out there. There's Olivia, there's Hellschreiber. Okay, I don't think a lot of people work Hellschreiber, but still, there's other modes. It's just FT8 seemed to be the really popular one. I mean, when I was looking at FT8 on 20 meters, I was probably seeing a good 2 or 3 dozen stations calling CQ at the same time, and it was all coming into the computer, and it was a bit overwhelming.
All on one frequency?
Yes. Yeah, so FT8 only uses 50 hertz. So multiple people are transmitting a little 50 hertz slice into a 3.6 megahertz wide passband, which is as wide as the 7300 goes. So you can receive, multiple stations at the same time because each station's only using a 50 hertz.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have to look at what it looks like on the waterfall, and it makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, basically everyone is on the same frequency, but using a little different slice of the spectrum.
And you're able to pick the little slice you want to work with?
Well, the computer decodes everybody, so it literally it's a fire hose. Like you're literally receiving data from half a dozen stations, well, actually like 2 dozen stations simultaneously, and all their information pops up on the screen of the computer.
I think we're probably going to need some practice on this kind of stuff.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you could do FT8 on 2 meters with your 9700 to practice. I'll we'll show you how to do it.
Yeah, what other equipment do I use? Does Signal Link work good enough, or is all that built into the 9700?
All the new rigs have sound cards built into them, so you don't need a signal link. And that 7610 you got has a sound card built into it, just like the 7300 and the 9700 and the 705, and yeah, all those radios have built-in sound cards now, so it makes doing digital modes really easy.
Okay, yeah, something went crazy here in the house.
I blame it on the cat.
Yeah, it was a cat. I don't know if they knocked over the tree, it started running around, but it sounded like everything was falling down.
Well, you might need to go downstairs and investigate.
Yeah, I think I need to. Okay, well, thanks for a lot of the different information and stuff here.
Oh, yeah. And we'll just keep on plugging away, and we'll see how things go. So yeah, we'll just have to give people the cold shoulder at the next meeting and be like, you should have been at field day.
Yeah, well, there's that thing about getting more flies with honey or vinegar, I guess, or whatever. So we have to kind of go down the middle on that. But yeah, that's a good point to make with them. So anyway, maybe we need to do a little more of the POTA stuff with groups going out. I know Harvey does that a lot for the Clovis Club, but that would be similar to getting used to working with these things in a portable type of situation setting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I don't know if I'd want to do that, though. I like doing POTA by myself. I mean, if somebody wants to go do POTA, I'll teach them how to do it. But when I go out, I like being able to just sit out there by myself and play radio.
Yeah, but you got to have an example to learn.
I taught myself.
Well, you're into the computer stuff and all the technology, where some of these other people don't even understand how to do any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's for POTA, for example, there's a lot of go read the manual. Like, there's literally a POTA website with all the information on how POTA works, and I highly recommend people go read it. And that, maybe watching a couple of videos on YouTube, and I just went out and did it myself. And you learn a couple things, and you learn the best way to do stuff. And of course, the first time I went out and did POTA, I was doing QRP, which is just an asinine thing to do, because that makes it just even more difficult. But anyways.
Yeah, I read the POTA thing. I signed up with an account or whatever, but that's about as far as I went. I guess you got to have more time to do this stuff too.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is, I only have time to do POTA a couple times a year. I haven't done it since. I had to take my wife up to Stockton for a baby shower, and I went and played POTA while I was paying the chauffeur for her. But that was just me being advantageous and taking advantage of the situation. It's not like I'm going out and doing POTA every weekend. I just don't have the time.
Yep, that's true, I guess. Okay, I'll let you go here. I need to figure out what's going on here. K6USY, KM6SR. We'll say 73.
Okay, sounds good. I need to get off my butt and go for a walk around the neighborhood anyway, so we'll catch you later. K6USY, Delta Mike is 06. And amazingly, we still have like 5 people listening on YouTube. Good night, everybody. K6USY.